There we go. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you can see on your screens the seniorcareaccess.com first page. And if you look to one of your windows, let me try to get rid of that one. There we go. If you look at one of your windows, you'll be able to see your mute button. I am going to mute everybody just so that we don't have any background noise while we're going through the presentation. If you do have a question during the presentation, you can either enter that question in the group chat, or you can actually raise your hand. I think Esther found out how she can raise her hand. But we will have an opportunity at the very end for open discussion and questions. Okay, so I'm just going to mute everybody. Just give me a second. Perfect. So Esther, can you hear me there?
I can hear you.
Perfect. So you and I are on, okay?
Okay.
Excellent. All right. So let's get started. We are recording this and we'll be using the presentation for other presentations as well. There are a few people that have said they were going to be on, but they're either having trouble logging in or they are going to access this a little later. So yeah, so on your screens, you're going to see two lovely people. Well, one anyway. We have Esther Goldstein with us. Say hi, Esther.
Hi. Thank you all for coming.
And of course, myself, Paul Cuttajar. So what we would like to share over the next hour, an hour and a half or so, is some information about Senioropolis and Pivotal Aging Innovations, and basically what Senior Care Access is and why we created it. So just before we get into the actual introductions of the companies, I'd like to offer to you our why Senior Care Access was developed. So in short, it is our goal to bridge three key elements needed to answer the questions of what is available to a senior and how do they access it. Now, although Esther and Pivotal come to the table with different assets, our recognition in the need was very apparent. And we set forth in developing something that would be the first solution that involves three elements of professionals working in senior care, retirement, long-term care, research and discharge programs, families in need of assistance in navigating a senior's transition, and services and programs available to all users. So the elements are professionals, families, and professional services. Now, all of this is backed by the national database of senior housing solutions and unique professional education relating to seniors. It has been our experience that although there are many individuals offering of services and solutions, the seniors industry remains fractured and extremely challenging for families to navigate. As you will shortly see, Senior Care Access is designed to answer these areas of concern by offering connectivity to all those navigating the many systems. Now, we are not making claim that our solution is perfect or anywhere near complete. However, it is our wish and intent that with your support, suggestions, and involvement, we will be able to expand on what we have and offer empowerment to all its users. So that's our why Senior Care Access was developed. And I'll get to this one. So now we'll get right into who are we and a little description. I think we're going to pass today, Esther, on your background and my background, just for time's sake. But we will get into the companies behind it. So following up on who we are, SeniorCareAccess.com is a joint venture between Senioropolis Inc. and Pivotal Aging Innovations. Senioropolis is owned by Esther Goldstein and produces an annual publication and website of retirement homes directory and resources for seniors. The publication has been in circulation for 21 years and is often referred to as the Little Red Book. Esther, is the Little Red Book in other provinces? I think it's just Ontario, correct?
Just Ontario, but currently our new one that's coming out in January is going to be a free download off our website. It's our first 100% digital book, and that does have other provinces in it as well.
Excellent, excellent. So Pivotal Aging Innovations is owned by myself, Paul Cuttajar, and engages with several associates who develops and delivers training to professionals on working with seniors within the real estate, mortgage and alternative financing, and estate process. Pivotal also offers a hands-on approach to being person-centered within the retirement and long-term care industries through its proprietary RAFT program. And RAFT stands for Wounds, Restraints, Abuse, Falls, and Training, as well as a consultation service for seniors and their families facing a life change or life transition. Now, the idea of Pivotal Aging Innovations is to bring innovative programs and solutions to the aging population at a pivotal time in their lives. Now, amongst other proprietary and exclusive licenses, Pivotal and Senioropolis has created this unique solution as a joint venture. Although Senior Care Access is a new venture, the program has been developed with decades of experience in working with older adults in transition, as with healthcare, hospital discharge, retirement home placement, social work, long-term care, and professional senior services. I would like to add that Pivotal carries the Ontario exclusive license for the Ashby Memory Method, a cognitive retention therapy program for early to mid stages Alzheimer's and dementia, the accredited and master accredited senior agent programs, which is training for realtors working with seniors, the senior mortgage professional training program for mortgage brokers, and the Pivotal Seniors Real Estate Canada referral program. There are other programs and associations we are working with, but they are in the works and they're not quite ready to launch. So we will invite you to other webinars once we have those programs in place and ready to share. But we're always looking for what's next. What can we do? What can we create? Who can we collaborate with to bring services and products to the market for seniors and the users of systems that assist seniors. So then the question is, well, how are we different and with what we're putting out here? So we have created an innovative one-stop shop for all things seniors across Canada. Now, we have information, databases, and service providers for other provinces. However, currently we are launching Senior Care Access here in Ontario first. Okay. It is a place where professionals, seniors, and families can come to get information and help for older adults trying to navigate the private sector system of care, support, and housing. We are offering extensive data, search capabilities, and consultative support, all under one virtual roof. Although there are others that offer bits and pieces of what we do, we believe that there are no other companies that offers a model for professionals, public, and service providers within an extensive training and referral reach. And that's key for us. It is user member based with multiple features and opportunities for those operating in the senior sector. Going into housing options, and this is really the backbone of the data that we have in the system. And this is really coming from Esther's side of the business. And that information, as you'll see, because Esther's going to be doing a presentation a little later, you'll see how the data is actually used within the website. We currently have an extensive database of over 4,000 retirement homes across Canada, which can be sorted by many fields such as location, levels of care, ownership, amenities, language, culture, price range, and dozens of other categories. Once the back end is finalized this month, 2019 will see us adding long-term care, 55+ communities, life lease, senior-friendly condos, and senior apartments to the list of housing solutions. By the time we're done, it's our goal to have, I'm not going to say everyone, but as many senior housing solutions available on the website. Okay. We are working on a vacancy program for retirement homes, which we hope to launch in the next few months. And I'll talk a little bit more about the vacancy program shortly. And for those care service providers or individuals who are able to navigate the senior resource system on their own, the site will have a membership component so they can access our database on their own based on their or their clients' needs. All right, we have a ton more people coming on. That's great. Awesome. So I mentioned a membership model or membership, and now the question is, well, why a membership model? So the traditional model of a site like this, where the homes, or the retirement homes, pay to be on it, limits the information displayed to only those who agree to pay and who have a budget to pay. And basically that only lists those people that want to pay, and that leaves everybody else out. So when you're doing a search on a traditional website, those companies or organizations that are being listed, most people don't realize that they're being listed because they pay to be there. The membership model of our site allows for us to obtain detailed information from all levels of housing because we don't require them to pay to be a part of the site. This offers an unbiased result, delivering substantially greater value to the user. So for us, it doesn't matter if they're paying or not. We just want to know that they're there, and we want to know the information of the housing option, because that's part of the database. So we want to know that information, and that information, they don't pay to be part of the database. Okay. Now it also gives us ultimate freedom in terms of the data we can gather and make available to our users. Our members are people who need the information we have and will use it, as opposed to just browsers who will come to the site and leave a minute later. So the target market is very different for this website. Now this ensures that those that are with us as both homes and service provider marketers will get a more direct and appropriate referral. Now, for those of you that are on that are service providers or even companies that may want to look at advertising or marketing, you can connect with us afterwards, and I can share the sticky factor, quote unquote sticky factor, design of the website. And we can show you how what we've designed is put in place so that when you get a referral, chances are that referral actually wants to talk to you. Okay. So we just finished membership model, and then the question is, well, what's the benefit of the memberships? So members are professionals who work directly with seniors and their families. Membership is flexible and based on how much you need to use our site and how large your organization is or isn't. The costs are structured based on need. Members will have quick and easy access to search for information based on extensive data parameters to quickly assist them in meeting clients' needs and making referrals. You could literally be at the kitchen table on your iPad, access the website, generate the results that you're looking for that particular client, and then make a referral or make an appointment or suggest what the results are. And the results are going to spit out based on the data required by you. Okay. Members will save considerable time using our platform and will have extensive information to offer their clients. Members may also quickly search service providers within their city and make inquiries and referrals quickly and easily at no additional costs. And that's part of the sticky factor, is that a professional may come and use the website, realize that the family or individual needs some extra help in whatever area. They can go to the service provider's page on the website, choose the city, choose the category, and then see the results of who's available to help them in that category. So going on to resources and service providers. We have a resource section, as I just mentioned, that is divided by province, city, and category of service. This part of the site is free to use by all of our visitors. So you don't need to be a member. You can just be Joe Public, come to the site, and you can search the service provider categories. Okay? If you're a professional, you're already in, and you have access to that database as well. There will be a maximum of 4 resources per city per category. ensuring calls received from our users are more likely to be appropriate and targeted. Each listing will have a color banner ad and a text description of service, as well as a live link to the address of your choice. Okay? Typically, the banner will link to your website, but we suggest a proper landing page and a way to actually monitor the leads coming in. There are extra options available for those who want to add features or appear in more than one city. Resources will be used by our consultants and partners and will lead to direct referrals for goods and services relating to seniors' needs. Okay. Now, there is a cost for that, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But the service providers that are being listed do have to pay to be on there. Okay. Consultants. And again, all of these categories that we're talking about are designed to work off of those three elements that we talked at the beginning: the service providers, the families or seniors themselves, and the professional users. Okay. So the Pivotal Consulting Program will be headed by Esther and supported by our team. It is designed to assist seniors and their families in navigating the private and public sector system in order to determine the best solutions available to meet their unique needs and goals. Basically answering what do they need, who can help, and who can we trust. Okay? So for many families, it's the first step in getting help, whatever that help looks like. Professional consultants come from the paramedical area of practice, social workers, OTs, physios, nurses, etc., with a background in working with seniors. Consultants will be able to help seniors and families start a conversation about care planning, assist with retirement home search and transition, refer to resources to assist with financial planning, real estate needs, legal issues, etc. SeniorCareAccess.com will be the source of information all consultants use for resources and housing. So that's another way of feeding business to the partners. Consultants will also be trained to use and teach the Ashby Memory Method, which is the cognitive retention therapy program that Pivotal is licensed for. Okay, earlier I mentioned the vacancy program. This is going to sound a little complicated, but the description is meant to just be very, very simplified. There is a lot of information and detail that has to go into this program. But for our purposes now, we're just going to introduce it to you. So the vacancy program is a new concept that does not exist on any other website, and it is currently in development. The vacancy program could be used or accessed in three ways. Again, this is very simplified. A retirement home indicates it has a vacancy within our system, and professionals can then search for vacancies, inquire, and make a placement directly. Retirement homes can participate in our hospital discharge program, where discharge staff can then search availabilities and make a placement easily. And three, retirement housing solutions can have their rental or sales listed on the MLS system through our Pivotal Seniors Real Estate Program, offering search capabilities across Canada. Now, we will give homes the option of letting us know when they have a vacancy for all levels of care available. And as I said, there is a lot of information and details that has to go into the program, but this is just really, really basic so you can just get a picture of it. Those who work with seniors and our members will have access to this information in real time and at no extra charge. So it's a win-win. Those with vacancies can fill their beds quickly, and professionals who work with seniors will save time and effort when they are able to organize a quick placement, as well as being able to search many housing solutions. As homes start to see the benefits, we will include paid options for them to add their listings, such as photos and virtual tours. As this develops, we would like to bring the standard retirement home opportunity to the MLS system via the Pivotal Seniors Real Estate Program. Okay. Now, I know there's some of you on the call who have products or services that we've either been in talks with already, or we have not spoken yet, and you're thinking, oh, well, I could really, offer my program or my services to senior care access. That's the whole idea here. There are other programs that we would be able to bring into this that will make it bigger, better, and stronger. Okay, and we're looking forward to that. So really, this is just the beginning of what we're building here. So our vision is to continue to add resources and features to the site and developing an extensive network of information and support for all aging population across Canada. Okay, basically, we will be the place people come to find out about all things senior, and that's what the goal is. Okay. There's our contact information. If you're on the webinar, you already have this information, but by all means, take some time and jot that down if you like, or throw me an email or Esther an email, and then we can book an appointment to talk as well. Okay. So at this point, I'm not going to open up to any questions yet, so hang on to your questions. We will open up questions and comments at the very end, but Esther, I think we're ready to show them the website.
Okay.
All right. If I actually unmuted everybody, they'd all be yelling and screaming, "Yay! Let's see the website!" Yeah. All right. So let's see if we can do this. I'm going to stop share.
Okay.
You should get into share.
And I should get into share. And I got to find my screen that I'm sharing. Okay. Let's see. Share. Share.
Esther has started.
There we go. Can you see it, Paul?
I can see your Zoom screen.
Perfect.
And now I can see the website. Perfect.
You can see the website. Okay, yep. Wonderful. So we're going to introduce you to our website now, and we're going to go through some of the key pages so you can actually see what we've developed. We're hoping that everything at the back end will be completed, and this will launch in early January. So you're among the first to see what we've created. So there are really 3 entry points into the site. The first entry point is for professionals. People like retirement lifestyle administrators, hospital discharge planners, care service providers, senior service suppliers, placement organizations, consultants, even government agencies and researchers. While consumers can also use this site for their needs, their knowledge about the different kinds of care may not offer them the full picture. So our model allows for it, but doesn't focus on this entry point as being for the consumer. The professional user gains access via a chosen membership level. Once a member, they'll have access to unbiased and comprehensive information on thousands of retirement homes and alternate housing solutions for seniors. Information such as mapping, contact details, pricing, amenities, type of lifestyle, language, culture, levels of care, and soon vacancies are all components that will make up the extensive data that can be accessed through the search functions. Membership is based on how often you will access the site and how many people in the organization will use it. The second entry point is for consumers and professionals who need assistance in establishing next steps or life direction. This is our consultant program. The Pivotal Consulting Program is meant to assist seniors and their families in discovering what solutions are available to meet their needs and goals. As well, for professionals working with senior clientele, they may need assistance with a family they're working with in order to organize their current situation outside of their own ability. Pivotal consultants can offer a multitude of services such as lifestyle planning, best choice retirement placement, mediation, care planning, real estate, estate planning, financial preservation, and more, basically being the first point of assistance in answering the questions, what do we do and who can help us? The initial 1-hour consultation is at no charge. However, the plan of action and implementation fees will apply. Our third entry point is for consumers and professionals who need information on senior-specific resources. Senior Care Access is building a network of service providers who specialize in offering services benefiting older adults and seniors. The site offers focused marketing by restricting the amount of advertisers to a maximum of 4 per category per city. A consumer would simply select a province of choice, then the city, select the resource category, then a service provider. There is no cost to users for access to this part of the site. Our resources on the site also include an article database as well as an online store with publications of value to seniors and families. We're also working on offering other sorts of access and other solutions for seniors, but at this stage, we're not going to introduce that to you. We'll do that at a different webinar. Yeah. So what I want to do is highlight specific pages for you so you can actually see the site in action.
Esther, just before you move forward there, so I just want to make note that we designed the landing page to be as simple as possible. There's no moving images, there's no video, there's nothing to take a long time to load up here. And basically, it's what I had mentioned earlier. There's 3 areas of concern, or 3 elements that are going to help a senior. And you enter in one of those 3 elements, and then you can move interactively in between them, depending on how and why you're coming to the website. So if a professional is coming in, they're accessing the database. That database, if they're in front of the client, they may require the senior service partner to help out. So they can make that referral that way. If it's Joe Public coming in, they come in through the consulting program if they need assistance that way, or they hit the senior service partners and they can have that access. And then of course we have the senior service partner. So there's only three entries into the website. Okay. And one more thing, Esther, on the database, what's the how many fields of data do we have in total?
For the retirement
for the retirement
housing,
side, yeah.
We have over 350 fields.
Yeah, that's mind-boggling.
Now, no home is going to answer all of them,
right?
But in different combinations, they can be answered. So when I get to the search page, I can actually show you a complete database of what we're looking at.
Perfect.
We also have made 1-minute videos that fall under each of these headings. So for people who come to our site for the first time and don't know which portal to go in through, they can watch a quick video and they can see exactly what works for them. Okay, so now I'm going to show you our senior resource partners. So here you can see, this is our page for people who offer different sorts of services to the senior community. We have the flexibility of creating virtually any sort of service. So here what you would do is you would select your province, because this is a Canada-wide site. And my computer takes a little bit longer to do this because it's a laptop. Let's see, it says Ontario, but it's not moving. Okay, choose city. So what we've done is we've set up a sample page for you in Toronto. And here you can see all the potential cities that people can post information in. Now, what you'll see next is the current list of categories that we have. So this is just ones that we've created based on some of our existing contacts. As an example, I'm going to go to downsizing and relocation. So what you see here is a typical service provider's information. Everybody has a banner ad. They have the opportunity to describe their services. The banner ad, clicking on it will link you to their website. There's live links to email. Now, what you'll see is the top person has theirs highlighted in yellow. So that's an added feature that we offer people called Always First, Always on Top. So for people that choose this option, they pay a little bit extra, but they're number one always on that page. There is a maximum of 4 per page. So everybody below them is in alphabetical order and is not highlighted in yellow. And as you will see, everybody has basically the same type of description and information. So for the users who come to our site, they're choosing from 4. They're not overwhelmed by 15 of the same type of service. They're choosing specifically a service that caters to their community, which makes it ideal because, for example, downsizing. There are certain downsizers who will know certain retirement homes well, or certain housing settings. So if you find that that downsizer that's worked with the home you're going to, it makes it that much easier because they know the expectations and
Right.
the protocol. So, we can have 40 or 50 different categories. That's the beauty of this. So that's our resource page.
Yeah, let me just throw in two words in there. So as a professional service provider, as I am in real estate, I have spent thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars on marketing my seniors real estate business. And I actually stopped marketing that way as far as advertising because I was always just bunched in with other realtors. And it was a problem because my money was going out, but I wasn't convinced that the media or the medium that I was advertising in was actually bringing the right target, the right client to come and see me. So when we designed this, we wanted to limit the amount of people that could advertise on the page. So although it's advertising, we look at it as, yes, you're paying for that ad and you have to be there, but it's more of aligning yourself with other companies that offer senior services within your community. And if you start to think of it that way, that becomes your network. So as Esther mentioned, if you're doing downsizing or if you're doing real estate or home care, whatever it is, and your territory, if you will, is 20 kilometers square and there's 4 retirement homes in there, you're going to want to market within that city where those homes are being listed. And then all of your supporting services should be told to come on board as well, so that that client now is working with similar groups of people so that that client can get better service as they get placed or with home care or whatever services that they're looking for. But the idea here is that we've restricted the advertising component to a maximum of 4. That's it. And you have, once you're in, you have the option of first right of refusal on renewal. So you could literally bump out your competition by just staying in that spot. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so the other aspect of resources is our article library. So we've created several different categories. We currently have about 60 articles spread among them, but we're also opening it up to other professionals contributing information. So there is the opportunity for people to supply us with guest posts. There's a small fee attached to it, unless you are one of our service providers. If you are a service provider, included in your annual fee is the opportunity to include up to 3 articles on these pages. Now, while the articles are specifically generic in nature, it's not meant to be an advertising spot per se. However, it's meant to provide information, but with every article, we indicate who provided it. and what their contact info is, as well as a brief bio. So in a roundabout way, it does also give you another opportunity to advertise and to get yourself in front of users of our site and consumer users. Our consultants will also be accessing all of this information. So what we see happening is this huge network is going to develop where all of the people that are part of this site go back to this site repeatedly for the information they require, creating one giant group of professionals who are all working towards the same goal. So the next thing I want to show you is our professional access page. So we have created a page where people can understand, get a further explanation on professional access to the site. So this page is specifically for people who would use our database and would understand the different kinds of housing and the different kinds of care. It's for the professional retirement lifestyle people, care service providers, placement organizations, people like that. They would be the ones that would become our members. Membership then is based on several different things. So one is how many searches you think you're going to need to do in a year, and how many people in your organization would be using the searches. So the more people, the lower the cost. And basically it's set up in a very easy to use format, and you can actually create your own profile and your own password, and the system will automatically send you an invoice. Everything is very automated, so you don't even need to necessarily contact somebody to go through the process if you'd like to join us. We're thinking that a consumer who is well-versed on different aspects of care would choose either the bronze or the silver. And for them, it would be a very minimal cost to be able to access quick, specific data on things that they want. Those that are professionals that are using it every day or frequently would want to go with the gold, and then more corporate type users that would have multiple people that need to access the information could go to the higher levels of access. Then we have a page explaining the Pivotal Consulting Service. We've also opened it up so that if there are people who access the site that are interested in becoming a Pivotal Consultant, there's information directly on the site of how they can go about doing that. This page explains exactly who would use it, how they would use it, and what the costs involved are. So we've gone through speaking with many different kinds of professionals to get a very fair and reasonable price point of what it would cost to have a consultant walk you through, and we've worked with that to develop our own program.
Esther, if I can just add some to consulting.
Yep.
So our consulting program is very different than perhaps other consultants that you've heard about or run into. And it could be a very complicated process, or it could be something as simple as a senior just needs somebody to listen to them. But the key is they have to know that we are there to help them decide, discover, and then basically handhold them through the process in achieving that goal, whatever that goal is. And in our experience, even when we're consulting with them and trying to get the initial information in through our intake session, sometimes the goal isn't even evident at the very beginning. They don't even know what the end result is supposed to be. So really, it's a matter of just helping them and having those conversations. And it's not only about the senior themselves. There's also family members that are involved. I'm sure if I open up the microphone or the mics right now, everybody would have a story to that. But people don't know who to turn to. They don't know if they go talk to their doctor, but their doctor may give them some time, but how much direction do they get from the doctor that way? If they're going to go talk to their realtor, are they ready to sell their house? Probably not ready yet. There's a whole lot that has to happen before that question even comes up. If they're preparing a will, are all the parties involved in that will ready, and are they on board? Have all the family issues been dealt with? Has the estate been prepared properly? If it's healthcare and they're going through a health crisis or a potential health crisis, how and who do they talk to? So we have other consultants, third-party consultants, that we can bring in based on their needs. But basically, we're the quarterback to the family. So we become the advocate for the individual or the family. And that's really what we find that most families need, is just to know that there's somebody on their side to help them deal with all of this other stuff. Okay. So again, it could be very complicated, or it could be quite basic, quite simple. But everybody has a different reason for communicating with it. If you are somebody that would like to participate in becoming a consultant, by all means, reach out to us. We are seeking consultants, again, across Canada. So this is going to be a big, large project. But we'd love to talk to you about that, or if you know somebody that would be interested. Okay. Thank you.
So we also have developed an online store. We've created a few publications to start the store off. But there is the opportunity for other professionals who have publications that they would like to open up to the senior community to speak with us about adding them as well to our site. At this point, we have fully downloadable ebooks, and everything is automated through the site that people just click buy now, and it takes them to a PayPal page. They will get a download code, and it's a very simple thing. We have currently an ebook on visiting tips if you're looking for retirement residences or long-term care. And we have an absolutely wonderful care planning workbook that we've created, which can really help people who have a senior that they're looking after, or if they themselves are a senior. And it gives you the opportunity to provide all sorts of health and financial information. And filling it out, it can be filled out online, it can be filled out, not online, through your computer, it can be filled out by hand, and kept in a place where caregivers can easily find it if they need to take you to an appointment, or if something happens and they need to access important information. So we're constantly going to be building on these opportunities, and anybody out there who might have something that they would like to add to this page are also welcome to contact us. Now we get to the best part, my favorite part.
They're cheering in the background. I can hear them.
You can hear them. This is what we have spent a lot of time creating. This is our housing database. So once you log in, I've already logged in, so I don't have to do it again. Once you log in, you're taken to this page. This page allows you to do either a very quick search by just name, if you specifically know a place that you're interested in, or a more advanced search. And I know that there's a bit of a delay, so I'm going to try and go and just move the site up slowly so people can see little elements to the advanced search. So the advanced search has all kinds of things in it. So if you know a specific name, you can put that in. If you know a street, you can put the street in. If you just want to search by city or province, you can do that as well. But you can also search by every possible housing opportunity that we have access to. So here's where we're building a really interesting feature. I just clicked on retirement home. What comes up is with vacancy. All of the housing levels are built like that. So once we develop our vacancy program in the next few months, anybody searching for a home with a vacancy will be able to find one in real time. And anybody who's in the discharge planning end of things will see the incredible um, value to this. Absolutely. I know when I worked in healthcare, you needed to get people through the system fairly quickly because you needed beds. If you had to call 15 different homes until you could find one with an availability that met your client's needs, that could take days till you reach the right person. Wouldn't it be wonderful for people to just be able to go to one website and get this information in all of 5 minutes? The other key things that we've put in that people can search by besides level of care are things like government subsidies, medication management, continence care, if pets are allowed, culture, language, the kinds of meals, people who have special menu restrictions, and price range. So it gives you a whole host of opportunities to search, to narrow your search, so that what's going to come out is exactly what you need. So what I've done is I've set up a bunch of test residences, to be honest, where people can actually see, it's got to let register, people can actually see how many fields we've created. So I filled one out with absolutely every possible answer that you could have. There's no home like this, I'm just saying. This is the kind, there's no home, I promise you, like this. But this is just to show you what people can complete, what the opportunity is for people to complete, and the kind of information and the data, the powerful data that we have as part of this site. So every home, we have name, address. Once there's an address, you automatically can click for a map. And so it will right away bring you into a Google map so you can see exactly where the location of that home is. It won't, it opens in a new window, so you're still within our site. So if we go back to that, you'll see there's contact information right off the top. And you see right away what kind of resident the home will take. So it can be, any level of care can be selected from this. The levels of care are each available with the opportunity for the home to tell us if they have a vacancy. We're not talking about the number of vacancies. All we need to know is if there is a vacancy. We ran into concerns from some of the homes that they didn't necessarily want to say if they had 10 vacancies today, because tomorrow they may have 6. So all they wanted to be able to say is, yes, there is a place here if you have somebody that needs it. Now, we've also created the ability that as soon as the vacancy is updated, a date fills in there. Homes do have the ability to have their own profile and to go in and update that as often as they wish at no cost to them. So you can see right away if the vacancy was updated yesterday or 2 months ago. It makes it easier to determine if indeed there still is a vacancy in case people get behind on this. There's basic, quick need-to-know information like whether furniture is provided, what your base costs are, if there's subsidies, how you apply, and if they will accept people directly from hospital. Among this, we have several categories. So one of those categories is independent care for rent. And within that category, we ask about the bathrooms, about whether they're private or not, what kind of accommodation they offer, and what the costs are for that accommodation. Again, not every home is going to want to provide the cost. We're doing our best to try and at least get a starting cost somewhere along the line so people can search by price points. There are also independent living for purchase opportunities. So here we're talking about active adult lifestyle communities, condo suites, and life lease suites. So again, here you can indicate what kind of accommodation there is and what the costs are that are involved. The other piece about the independent living for purchase are the meals, because in some of these communities, there are opportunities to purchase meal packages and housekeeping packages. And so we want to know if those are mandatory or if they're even available. Now, assisted care is sometimes available in retirement homes, sometimes not. The reason we've divided independent for rent and assisted care is to allow us the opportunity to separate those two, because there are homes that have the opportunity to provide both. So here again, we ask the same kinds of questions about accommodation and costs. The next level we're concerned about is memory care, because more and more we're finding that there are homes that are providing memory care. They're not necessarily long-term care homes. They're actually homes that are being built in Ontario specifically for dementia that don't fall into any existing category. They're simply memory care settings. So here we've asked other questions around special programs, around wandering, around secure units, because these are all things that are really important to know if you have somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia. And again, we ask the same standard questions about room types and costs. Many homes will have the opportunity to provide extra care, and there would be a cost involved. Again, here we ask that question, and we also ask if there are provincially funded home care programs and government funded services for people. When we get to long-term care, we always ask about private and public, because in some provinces there is the opportunity for both. And that, of course, affects how much people pay. So here we ask about room types. We also ask about end-of-life care. So that pretty much covers the different kinds of homes and their accommodation and costs. We then get into questions about the building and who owns it, when it was built, how many people can be in the building, if they're licensed, and if there are outstanding issues. Now, we know we have access to, if it's licensed, we actually know the different places we can go to look to see if the issues are resolved. And we can look up all of that information through public databases if the homes don't wish to provide it. For more independent settings, we'd like to know what they're close to and what they have access to in the community. More and more we're seeing language and culture becoming an issue for seniors as families are changing, and in a lot of communities that previously were able to provide care for their loved ones, if everybody works outside of the home, they're now reaching out to different housing opportunities. So it's really important for us to know if there's different language and cultures being serviced in different communities. Mm-hmm. We ask about meals, because depending on the kind of community, there may not be 3 meals a day. We like to know if there are kitchens. This all speaks to how independent people need to be in a home, and also gives you cost factors if there are extra meals that have to be purchased. Also special menus, because there are people that, especially cultural menus, most of them will provide things like diabetic meals, but things that specifically are geared to a certain culture are few and far between. So we'd like to know if there are specifics, and it gives us one more search category that users can use to find a home. Then we started talking about amenities, and we realized there were so many amenities that we wanted to know about that we divided it into different categories. This is by far probably the largest section of our back end. And it's the kinds of amenities that we've discovered when we look at different kinds of communities. A lot of these are only going to refer to more independent communities, but there will be some nursing homes, long-term care homes that have a lot of this as well. So everything from swimming pools to games rooms to hobby kitchens, things like that are what we're seeing a lot of in newer builds. But we also like to know if they have locked personal mailboxes, if there's parking available, things like that. If there's any religious affiliations, if they have a chapel, if they have the opportunity for people to do their own laundry. Then we talk about staff and services and the kind of staffing that exists in many of these homes. So we want to know everything from housekeeping and laundry services to if they have visiting clergy, hairdressers, the types of professional staff that come in and service the clients. For certain things, do they have a cost involved? Like a visiting lab service, is there a cost? Will they help you go to different medical appointments? If so, do they charge for that? Do they charge for medication? So a lot of these staff and service things are more geared to higher levels of care. And what kinds of amenities do they have in their suites? So are they wheelchair accessible? Do they have air conditioning? If so, what kind of air conditioning in a suite? Do they have basic safety features like CO detectors and fire alarms and sprinklers? In some provinces, it's legislated that you have these things. In others, it is not. What about what's included? Cable TV, telephone, Wi-Fi, things like that. Important to know if they're included in the fee or if they're extra costs. And lastly, pets, because in more independent places, you certainly can bring a pet. And if you can't, do they have visiting pets that can come? And the one other thing that's really unique to our site is the opportunity for our users to create notes that only they see. So it occurred to us, we've automated everything on this website. What if you are a user who visits several homes and wants to make a note for yourself about something within this home? Well, we've created that opportunity for you to do that and be the only one that views that. So instead of looking for little pieces of paper everywhere and notebooks and things like that, everything you need when you're helping a family work through this is right there in front of you. And you can view all of your notes at once. You can just create a note for this home. You have that flexibility. We don't know of any other site that has made this opportunity possible.
No. That's awesome. You've blown my mind. So a couple of things that have come to my mind as you're going through this, and we've gone through it 1,000 times, but there's always more to it. So on the personal notes section, you could use that note section as a professional user who's visiting homes for placements or one of our ASAs or master ASAs, whatever. And you can put comparative notes in there. So visited home ABC on June 10th, whatever year, and then your second visit was, say, 4 months later, and you can compare those notes, right? So, admin staff had turnover. Stacy no longer here. Now it's Julie. And you can, the more times you go in or contact with them, the more notes you can make, the more comparison you can make. And it kind of gives you an overall picture of how well the home might be run employee-wise. The other thing is, this is a complete list. Okay, not every home is going to make mention or make mark to all of those things. But as a pivotal consultant who's working with a family for a placement, the consultant is going to try to go through as much of this list as possible to extract that information from the home, so that when we present potential residences to the families, we've gathered based on this information. And I can tell you right now, if you have ever tried to make a placement, it's more than just having a free lunch at your local retirement home and saying, oh, wow, this looks really pretty. Okay, let's put mom in here. Okay, that's just the fluff stuff, but the grit to everything is all of this. And most people do not go through this type of an exhaustive list. So we've created the framework. We will be entering the information that we can gather on the homes as much as we can. but the homes themselves will be highly encouraged to go in and enter as much information as they can, because it puts them in a better light for those that are actually searching the homes. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, when we were first looking at this, Esther, you brought this up to me. You said, you know, financial people would love this information, this data. And I was like, what would a financial planner want to have access to all this info for? And the answer was, this is a quick way to find out what the costs are involved for that type of care. So as they're planning their finances for future, they can incorporate what they've instantly discovered at the kitchen table in their plan. They don't have to make a phone call. They don't have to hop in the car anywhere. They don't have to guess or assume. Of course, the prices need to be updated by the home, but at least there's access to that basic information. Right.
I mean, the other thing is a lot of financial advisors are working with senior clients that may come to them and say, I think I need to go somewhere. I'm not managing at home. What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
So now we have this user who's our financial advisor who now knows where to send this person, this client of theirs, to walk through the system.
Yeah.
And can help them very easily get connected to the right resources.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know there are financial advisors that use our book, and they find it really useful, and they actually hand it out to clients that are at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
This is one step above that, actually.
Mm-hmm. So that leads back to our consulting program. So it's one thing for us to go and market and say, hey, here we are, we're consultants, we can help Joe Public. But really what we're designing here is the opportunity for professionals to enter this portal. And then when they find, so whether it's a realtor, whether it's a financial advisor, whether it's a social worker, whoever it is as a professional who's working with that client, if that client is not ready for the services that that professional is actually able to offer, they can refer that client to Pivotal Consulting, and we would walk them through, prepare the plan, get them all ready, and then return the client back to that professional so that now they're ready to actually deliver their services. And a perfect example of this is a lawyer. Okay, a lawyer would typically charge, I don't know, $300, $400, $500, $600, $1,000 an hour. And a family comes in, say a family of 4, so there's mom and 3 siblings, and they're going to set out the details of the will. And then the bickering starts. Or oh, well, I didn't realize you meant that. Oh, so-and-so is going to do that, but I'm not going to get power of attorney. And now all of a sudden the lawyer is there looking at his watch saying, yeah, you guys can keep debating this all you want because I'm charging you by the hour. Or the lawyer can say, listen, I'm going to refer you guys to Pivotal Consulting. They're going to walk you through this whole process and get you all ready. Once you're ready, they're going to send you back to me so that we can actually do what you've actually hired me to do. So in the long run, is it cheaper? I don't know if it's cheaper, but it's a whole lot easier. So each professional out there now has a resource of a consultant that is able to work with the families to bring that family up to par, if you will, and give them back to the professional. All right. And then, of course, our consultants have full access to this database as well. Okay. Whew. I'm tired just thinking about it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, what else we have here? We did the store.
I think that's a pretty good overview of the site.
Awesome.
I think we're ready to open it up to any questions.
Okay, so my phone has been blowing up here while we're on this section. I've had people say we're going to stay muted, just listening in, great information. Another one's had a bunch of questions and said, if I only waited, you guys answered all the questions. Some other people said they couldn't log in, but were anxious to see the recording, yada, yada, yada. So I will open it up now. I'm not sure how many actual questions we'll have, but we'll try to, let's see here, unmute all. Okay, everybody is unmuted. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions? Ready to sign up? Anything? All right then.
We must have done a really good job.
I know there's people on the back end that don't want to say anything because they're anxious to actually talk to us directly. So, okay. So if that's the case, I will mute everyone. I've got a chat here. Give me a second. Would like to chat with you, Paul, about consulting and other options. Absolutely, no problem. So you guys know how to reach me, so we can discuss that afterwards. And I think really that's what's going to happen, because I think people are a little leery to maybe share where they're coming from. There are some people on the call. I know we have people from overseas. I know we have people from BC. I know we have a couple from the States that are interested in what we're doing. So there's going to be lots of growth. We're very excited, very anxious to do the actual launch for January. So we're still in the beta or preparatory stage, but the time is coming quickly. So with that, Esther, thank you very much for your time. Everybody on the call, thank you for taking the time to be with us. We will be doing more of these, so you may be on the invite list once again. And if you know of any other people that would be interested in hearing this, being involved, getting involved, etc., by all means, just reach out to us. And I'm going to put my screen back up. Let's just see here. Let's stop this. And we'll do this.
Should I stop my share?
I've already stopped your share. And I think you should be able to see our contact us page.
Yeah.
Right on. So those are our phone numbers, emails, so you can jot that down if you like. And most people know how to get a hold of us anyhow. So, okay. All right. So with that, thank you all for joining us. We're very excited. And if you can participate, help, assist, we'd love to hear from you. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul and Esther.
Thank you.
Thanks, Boris.
Boris, we'll be in touch.
Interesting stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.